Learner-centered education is where students are the bigger control of their learning than the teacher. So I'm giving them a target to shoot for, but they figure out what it's going to take to get them there and what tools they'll need. In our current learning model, we try to have a variety of things. So this week, this class had 2 days of group work, they had a day of individual work, and they had 2 days of partner work to try to mix it up. And it kind of depends on what we're doing. Different tasks require different configurations, and sometimes they get to choose their groups like today, and other days groups are more strategically made based on what students need and where they are in the content. In the old grading, it was like, how much work did you complete? Oh, you completed 90% of it, you have a 90%. Under standards, it's more, what are the things that you're able to do at this point? For example, if you could list some reasons that the Constitution was created, you're starting at a 1. If you can tell me what the principles of the preamble were and how the government meets them, that's a 2. And the next step, what we want them to meet, the grade level expectation, is explaining the role and importance of the Constitution. So standards are all the things that kids should know by the end of the year and steps along the way to get there.
We're working on the preamble and taking parts of the preamble out of it and defining it and trying to figure out what it means so that we get a little better understanding of our Constitution and our preamble. It's a lot different because in elementary school they used to be hand you a textbook and you had to work from there. And here you kind of have more choices on what we can do. And we have different teachers, so each teacher teaches different and gives us a little more choices on how we learn.
I'd say traditional teaching is kind of going along with the book. In 8th grade social studies, I'm going to teach you everything from the Revolution to the Civil War. And in this model, it's more, what skills do I want them to have at the end, and what pieces of content fit in there. We are still doing history and geography and economics. It's really focused on the grading and what students have to meet to get there. So it gives me more freedom in planning that I'm not just, okay, we're only learning about the Constitution right now, but picking out specific goals that I want them to have and then figuring out how to get there.
That's a lot easier for us to understand, okay, this is what I need to learn how to do now, and then we can focus on the next standard after. It just gives us a lot more freedom on how we work.
Learner-centered teaching is important because what these students are going to need to be able to do to work in jobs that don't exist right now, they don't need social studies content. They need the skills of working together, of having a goal and figuring out how to meet it, of making a mistake and figuring out, here's what I learned from that mistake and here's how I can fix that. And if I'm doing all of the work, they're not going to get those skills to have these jobs that we can't even imagine what they are yet.